It's Mooney from the Muniverse, and welcome to another video where today we're going to talk about why you need a marketing plan even if you're just starting out. So I get this question a lot because there's a lot of people who are curious about what it would take to become a spiritual practitioner or teacher or guide and how to make that pivot from student into teacher. And one of the things that comes up first is like, well, if I don't even know what I want to do, or if I'm not even sure how to talk about what it is that I want to share with the world, or if a business is even right for me, how do I know that a marketing plan is something I need to focus on? And what's great about this is that a marketing plan, even if you are going through the process of practicing a marketing plan, can help you refine and figure out what you want to do, how you want to do it, and what the next steps would be. So, the first and foremost, there's three kind of components of why a marketing plan is important, no matter where you are along this journey, right? Whether you're in the beginning, the middle, or you're just kind of toward the end and trying to figure out how do I bring this all together in a way that can sustain me over this last part of what I want to give to my career. So, in this moment, there's three things I want you to think about. So, first and foremost, clarity is going to beat hustle every single time. A lot of what you see in marketing plans that are out there that people are providing or selling or working with someone who's a marketer is that they're going to have this idea that you got to like work and work and work and work and really be committed and dedicated, 72 hours a day to get things done. And in some cases that does work for people, but that's not really aligned with how we do what we do as spiritual entrepreneurs, as spiritual sensitives, as healers, as teachers, as guides. Having yourself kind of running on empty all the time isn't really a good plan. It doesn't fit into the energetic alignment of I'm going to tell you to stay grounded and stay connected to your higher purpose, and then I'm going to, completely throw that out the window and start doing things that aren't aligned with that, and I lose a connection to becoming what I call a product of my own design, right? So if you're going to say something publicly out there, you're going to share a message, it's kind of important that that alignment is there within you as well, so you can become a product of that work. So when I say clarity beats hustle, what I really mean is when you don't have a plan, or when you're kind of plan adjacent, let's say, that the plan's out there somewhere in the ethers and you haven't quite nailed it down yet, but you're thinking about it, is that a lot of times what happens is you waste hours and hours and hours trying to figure out like what to do, what to post, where to go, what the options are, what the best, more straightforward solution might be, what the fastest solution might be. And it takes a lot of time to do that all by yourself, right? You're doing that alone behind your computer, in your journal, looking at all sorts of videos all over the place, like one over here on YouTube, to help you understand what is it that's going to make sense. And a lot of times it's a process of elimination. Well, I don't like that plan because it's too intense. I don't like that plan because it's not part of what I want to do. I don't like the way that person's describing the plan. And so you end up having to like remove all the parts that don't work and you're left with something that's good enough, right? So there's this idea that you kind of decide, right? And this is the difference between a choice and a decision. You decide, okay, well, these aren't going to work, so I'm left with this choice, right? Or this option, I should probably put it as a better way, versus just choosing something to say, okay, well, I'm choosing to follow what my soul and what my intuition and what my spiritual gifts are telling me to do, and I'm going to create a marketing plan that aligns and fits in place with all of that. So there's two different approaches, right? So you're in one approach, you're saying, okay, these are all terrible choices, and I'm left with the least terrible option. And then there's another version of this where you build something that's actually aligned with and matches the energy that you want to bring to it. And that can always grow and evolve and change. You could find yourself starting out in a way that says, okay, well, I'm really only willing to do this kind of post. I'll give you the example of someone in one of my classes that didn't want to be seen, didn't want to be heard, didn't want to do anything, to put themselves out there. And so what I had recommended is just start doing a video with just your card and your voice, or your card and no voice, but start somewhere, right? Start somewhere that feels safe and starts to encourage you to grow so that you can evolve the plan as it starts to become more clear, you become more confident, or you find the pace that works for you. So to recap, like clarity beats hustle every single time. A plan is going to give you the direction to stop spinning and start moving. And I think that's one of the biggest breakthroughs that I can offer anybody that works with me in one of my classes or works with me one-on-one, is kind of getting unstuck. A lot of times what we do, because there's so many options and so many choices and so many ways to do it and so many questions and internal limiting beliefs and things that we're processing, that you can get stuck spinning. And you get to a point where you're just about to do it and you're like, oh, I'm going to take another certification class, or well, maybe next year, or oh, I don't know if I should do it. And so it's helping you break out of that stuckness and get into a place place of momentum in any direction, in any pace, in whatever way makes sense to you. But in order to do that, you have to have a plan. And that plan has to be built by you. So the next thing I want to talk about is how consistency builds trust. There's a lot of information out there about how many touch points you need to have with somebody before they start to recognize you as an authority. And from when I started marketing 10 years ago to now, that number has increased by a lot. And so there's this perception that you need to be everything everywhere all at once. Great movie, by the way, to be effective as a marketer in the spiritual space. And to some degree, that's true. But let's roll it all the way back to those of you who are just starting out or those of you who are just starting over. Simple consistency, meaning like just a schedule of I'm going to post once a month, would be better than trying to post in a way that doesn't feel natural or doesn't feel aligned with what you're comfortable with in this moment. And then it puts you into this kind of defensive position where you're constantly measuring yourself against this idea that you should be posting a certain number of times, or that you have to do it a certain way in order for it to be successful. The challenge or the gift that I give you in all of this is that the success is defined by you. So if you putting a message out there once a month is a successful venture, meaning it's you testing something out, seeing how it feels, seeing how it aligns with the agenda of your soul, seeing how it aligns with your spiritual purpose, and then saying, okay, I'm ready to grow from here, is a much better approach than feeling like you have to do it all in one day and have it all figured out. And the pressure of that sort of removes the joy from the process. That's another thing that's been revealed to me, and I kind of knew, but I think it's good to see it in the classes that I've been teaching, is how much joy is factored into whether or not a plan is going to work. Does this bring me joy? Does this bring me excitement? Am I happy when I do this? Or do I approach this like it's a book report that's due tomorrow and I put myself into stress and I get all upset and anxious about it, and then I lose what joy I had and it's no longer something I want to do? So it's trying to rewire this whole situation so that there is no external pressure, there is no expectation. It's just what is, and it's what you're allowing to be seen out into the world. So this consistency, this idea of being consistent, it's at a pace and schedule that's appropriate for you, but it's a commitment to figuring things out. To say, okay, I'm committing to showing up once a month so that I can start to see what happens when I'm out there sharing my gift. Oh, I wonder what that's all about. So you get to a point where you're saying, okay, I want to do this, and I want to start being consistent about it. Just being able to say that out loud is sometimes the biggest breakthrough of in 2026, I want to be consistent about posting once a month. I want to write one blog every 6 weeks. I want to create a video every quarter. That's enough sometimes. If you want to do more, if you want to go to weekly, that's something you can build toward, but start with something that's manageable and start with something that's still fun and brings you joy so you can watch that joy expand as you do it more. The plan, the part of it that makes sense when you have a plan here, is it makes this consistent visibility possible. And it's even when your motivation fades, right? Even when life comes in and starts to like take up your time and energy and things happen, and I know this, that it's unpredictable in so many ways what could happen during the course of a week, a month, a year, even a day sometimes. So giving yourself the ability to create a consistent plan for visibility that's actually doable, that doesn't put you in stress or put you under duress or put this kind of ticking clock on you, is a great way to start the practice and allow it to grow. So the third thing I want to share with you is your gift deserves a strategy, right? That's something that I think a lot of us have to say out loud a couple of times. My gift deserves a strategy, right? My gift deserves a strategy. So you think about it in terms of, okay, if your gift was there and you knew that your gift was meant to be shared with the world, that gift would have come with a little bit of instruction on how exactly to get that done. And a lot of times we think because it doesn't reference social media or emails or digital marketing or sales or numbers, that we don't have any instructions on how to do this. It's the total opposite. We have all the instructions we need on how to share this gift. It's all in there, right? And it's part of what our intuition is telling us, is that there are things that are going to make sense for you that you get excited about. If you think about all the ways in which we could market and share our gifts, right? And that's really what marketing is. It's just shining our light out into the world so that people who want to see or are looking for that light can find it and follow that all the way back to you. And then engage with whatever you have available so that they can themselves start to shine their lights out into the world. That's marketing. That's how I view it. So the instructions that come with your gift are essentially, if that gift is there and it's helping people, and we know it is because it's helped you already, if that gift is something that you feel called to share with the world to help other people, if that gift is something that you feel is part of your greater purpose here in this human body, having this human experience, this lifetime, then those are things that would motivate you and those are things that would inspire you to look into doing this, right? To say, okay, I know that these things are true. I don't have to believe that they're true. I know that they're true. I have these gifts for a reason. These gifts are here to help me and help other people. And these are gifts that are calling to be shared with the world. Those are all the instructions that you need. The rest of it is just figuring out details, right? So if you have all of the stuff that's done here in your, let's say, put it in your success mindset is there, that I don't need to believe that these things are true. I know that these things are true. Now I'm just going to allow opportunities and allow different strategies for getting my message out to show up and for me to engage with them. All that does for you is it gives you a plan to say, all right, hey gifts, hey spiritual gifts, hey spirit, I get it. I know what I need to do. I know I need to share this. Now, please send me the people, send me the ways, send me the opportunities in order to do that in a way that matches my energy, that matches me where I'm at right now. So that's an example of, let's say that you have this point where you're saying, okay, I believe this, right? I know this. I'm moving out of beliefs and I'm into this idea of like, I just know that this is going to happen. And an opportunity comes your way. Instead of finding 15 reasons why you shouldn't do it, or coming up with all sorts of limiting beliefs as to why it couldn't happen, or telling yourself it's not going to amount to anything, or trying to fall into our favorite friends, which is perfection paralysis or imposter syndrome or paranoia about what might happen. Now you get to look at these opportunities as opportunities. They're no longer things to be afraid or intimidated of. They're things to run toward, to be able to say, I'm going to figure something out on the other side of doing this. It's not going to be perfect. I'm not going to be totally confident all the way through. And I might have some thoughts about what could happen as a result of me doing this. But I now have this knowing, this inner knowing and allowing that's going to let me get to the other end of this experience and see what happens. And I think that's all this is, right? That's all marketing is when you come down to the very simplest core parts of it, the way I see it anyway, is that it's our opportunity to test things out and try things out and see what sticks and see what feels good. And a lot of this is built upon what is aligned for you. What are you doing? What are you focusing on that aligns with the thing that you want to do most and the calling that you have from this gift? So again, I want to remind all of you that, you need a marketing plan. You need a plan of any kind, even if you're just starting out, because your gifts deserve it, right? And that consistency that you can put in place is going to build trust, and that clarity is going to beat hustle every single time. So if any of this was inspiring to you or you're curious and want to discover more, I am launching a program called Manifest Your Marketing Plan. And this is an opportunity for you to do exactly this, no matter where you are on the journey, for you to be able to say, all right, let's do this. Let's align my spiritual gifts, my heart, my soul, the purpose of my soul, my spiritual agenda, whatever you want to call it, and figure out what it is that's going to work for me, even if it's just the beginning steps, right? Even if I'm just committing to once a month or once a quarter, or writing a blog, or doing something that feels safe and exciting and interesting so that you can allow that to grow. So come on over to the muniverse.com/2026 2026 so you can get started on this journey together with a group of people that are going to support you in a way that's going to match you and your energy. So we're going to get together on this Saturday, December 13th, so that we can do a half-day program to get everything aligned and cleared out. And I promise you it's going to be so much fun, and you're going to be held and supported by an amazing community of people. And then every Tuesday in January, we're going to get together to help implement whatever it is that you built in your plan and help things move forward, help get unstuck, help be inspired, do all the things that you need to test this out and see how you do and find out what's on the other side of you getting out there and being up to something. So again, come on over to themuniverse.com/2026 and I'll see you soon.